I don't know if you just heard that. That was from next door. But you probably didn't. Probably went live just before then. I want to say something about my love life. Now, there are people who have obsessed over me, and the obsession has been out of hatred more than anything. But what people might not know about me or might not realize about me is that I've had fixations of my own, infatuations of my own. I mean, sure, it was never on the same level as the ones that I've been subjected to, but it caused, it's mainly men and a couple of women, but it caused them great pain. It caused them a lot of stress that they didn't need. And I realized that I expected them to, I thought if I could just be with them or just have them in my life, that it would kind of heal some sort of trauma in my life. And when it turned out that they couldn't offer what I had deluded myself into thinking, that's when I started getting angry with them. Or at least that's what I thought was happening. But it wasn't actually that was happening. It was me being angry with myself way more than I ever could be angry with them. And that anger came from me hating myself for hating myself. So it's like, I hate myself already. And then on top of that, I hate myself for hating myself. So there's a double hatred there. And because it's so overwhelming, I push it onto people that in the first place I chose because I knew that they wouldn't care anything for my body type or my skin color or even my gender. I chose people that I knew that my self-hatred would gravitate towards. And then I turned around and blamed them for their own feelings. And that is not fucking fair. Like, at all. Nobody is obligated to love me, to hate me, to even notice me. Nobody is fucking obligated to do any of that. Nobody. The entitlement is crazy. Like and you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to blame my childhood either. There are certain childhood traumas that I need to deal with, yes. But I'm going to deal with them in another video. Right now we're talking about me and taking accountability for my actions. I didn't know how to love. I hated myself and I projected that hatred onto others. You see, I've been through abuse all my life and I'm still going through abuse. But just because I'm going through some of the worst shit a human being could go through, it does not mean I'm a good person. I've said it before. This video is for all the people that I have ever pursued when they have made it clear. And to be honest, I knew before they made it clear that they weren't into me or that they didn't want me or they didn't want anything to do with me. I'm sorry for what I put you through. I'm sorry for the pain that I caused you. If I did cause you any pain, I apologize for it. It really wasn't. It's not anybody's job to save anybody. We should look after each other. Yes, we do need to take care of each other. We need to be kind to each other. But it's not anybody's job to save anybody. It's not anybody's job to look after to be somebody's emotional foundation. We need to find that for ourselves. And part of that involves being honest with ourselves. Like, we don't have to be honest with each other. But the problem that I have with a lot of people is not that they're not honest with me. Is that they're not honest with it's not honest with themselves. They're lying to themselves. And sometimes the lies get so deep, they turn that delusion on other people. That's what I can't take. This is me being honest with myself, saying much of the choices that I've made have been made out of hatred for everything that I am, which I only which I reinforced by turning myself into all the things that I thought were ugly in a woman or in a person. But the irony is, in me shaving my head bald and it felt like by making myself bigger and by shaving my head it felt like I was making myself a blank canvas, and I didn't realize I was doing it. So in me reinforcing my own self-hatred in this way, that is when I actually realized my own beauty and realized my own worth and realized my own joy. As a TI, I go through some of the worst shit anybody could go through, but I don't need anybody to save me. And if there is anybody in my life that I have made feel like they had to save me, that they had to be my knight in shining armor, or to understand this, the only thing that I look for in my friends or in my lovers are people that are honest with themselves and people that are emotionally intelligent and who can empathize. That's all I look for. I don't look for people who are deluded in themselves. That's all I look for now. So if I've ever made anybody feel like they had to save me, or that maybe their safety was under threat or something, or even just inconvenienced by my neediness, there's anyone out there who has ever felt like that and I've ever made them feel like that, I apologize with my whole heart for my part in what I've done. I felt the need to make this video. Like, my instincts told me not to make it, but I felt like I needed to just let this go. It's not right to kind of, because I've been holding on to this for a long time, and I couldn't articulate it. I couldn't articulate this feeling that I'm articulating now, but now that I found a way to articulate it, I am truly sorry. And this is to people who haven't done anything to me. This is to people who I've been attracted to or attached my attraction to, and they haven't done anything to me. This is not to the people who have abused me. This is not to the people who have mistreated me. This is to the people who have legit not done anything to me. There have been quite a few of those. Okay? So I'm sorry. I am truly sorry. I don't know if you'll ever see this. I don't know if, even if you don't forgive me, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Because you're not obligated to feel anything one way or the other. You're not obligated. I just want you to know that whatever you feel about the way I treated you, very, very justified, more likely than not. So I just want to apologize. Had to get that out of my system. I'm going to be unpacking a lot today. The summer solstice is coming up. It's coming up at 2:41 in the morning. So I've got a lot to unpack tomorrow. Well, or rather today. Yeah. It's so important to love yourself, no matter what. And I don't mean the type of love where it's like, oh, I'm so awesome, but like, no, just like a self-acceptance. To be self-aware. I think a lot of us are self-aware and self-indulgent in our self-awareness to the point where even when we feel really bad, we just wallow in it rather than doing anything about it. I'm sick of doing that. I like being self-aware. Being self-aware is a good look on me, but I also like to self-accept. I accept myself for who I am, for my past mistakes, for everything that I've done. And I've done some wild shit. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay? Might not be as bad as the gang stalkers are painting it, but I've done some wild shit. And I've treated people as less than human myself. Again, we all do it. And the fact that I had a mental illness, I dissociated a lot. So I treated a lot of people like garbage. Well, and quite a few people who didn't deserve it from me. I'm going to be honest with you about that. Do you know what I mean? So it's just, I'm letting it go. I'm letting that shit go. There is certain, I'm letting that shit go. I'm not innocent. I acknowledge that. And however the people that I've hurt feel about it, however they feel about it is however they feel about it. It's up to them. But I feel that it's important for me to kind of not only move on, but because of the experiences that I've had and because of certain behaviors that I've exhibited, I feel like it's really necessary for me to help victims of stalking, to help victims of abuse, to help victims of, or in my case, the people that I've been speaking to, victims of infatuations. Because it is a victimhood. When you have a feeling inside you, like you feel like you might burst and you meet that one person who makes you feel like that, it's actually not healthy. It's actually extremely toxic. It's a dopamine rush. It's a misappropriation. It's a misappropriation of arousal that kind of manifests as romantic feeling. That's the simplest way I can put it. I might be wrong, but that's the simplest way I can put it. It's misplacement of arousal. I think that's what it's called. I have to look it up, but it's that little glittery feeling inside you that you find when you meet someone. That's not how you're meant to feel when you love someone. That's actually fear manifesting itself as infatuation. It's like a compulsive drive. Like, some people are addicted to romance. Some people are addicted to food. Like, I'm addicted to food. I've replaced my addiction to romance with addiction to food and internet, right? I've replaced my addiction to romance with a lot of other stuff. And what connects all of the addictions together is the need to feel stimulated and the need to find that stimulation, or to find that thing that makes you want to get out of bed in the morning, that motivates you to succeed. Some people don't need that. Some people don't need, excitement, or to be interested in something, or to seek novelty in order to sort of find their purpose in life. But I'm one of those people. I need a certain amount of excitement. I need two things. First of all, I need emotional connectivity, and I do need excitement. So somebody like me will chase after that feeling in order to feel like I'm moving forward or moving somewhere. Like, I need that adrenaline rush. And sometimes what you don't realize is that there are healthier ways in which you can get it. It doesn't necessarily revolve around looking for a savior to save you from the abuse that you're suffering from in your life. It doesn't necessarily revolve around food or internet or how people think of you and how people perceive you. When you're chasing after an infatuation, it's a dopamine rush. It's the same high you get from any addiction. It's the same high that you get from any addiction. And when you get that addiction, it costs you money. You forsake all the things that are important, even the things that make you happy. State that I can suffer with a lot of the time, and Again, people have gotten hurt because of that. The challenge for me now is to find someone who is honest with themselves, and when it comes to me and everything about me, someone who genuinely likes me enough to want to know everything about me, who won't just give me a cute smile and a hug and think it's okay and think that will just pass. I want someone who wants to know everything about me, who wants to take an interest in me. And again, that could be a friend, it could be a romance, it could be a lover or anything like that. Whoever it is, they have to be interested in me. And not just interested in me being a TI, or conversely, they can't be somebody who is only okay with me so long as I don't talk about TI stuff, because again, that's lying to yourself, and I don't do self-delusion. I'm the kind of person, maybe it's unfair of me to think that way, but I need somebody who is honest with themselves and who can accept me the way I accept myself. You know? And as for that dopamine rush that I'm looking for, the challenge becomes to find that dopamine rush that is healthy for me and healthy for my mental health and healthy for my physical health. That becomes the challenge now. To find that dopamine rush in the healthiest ways possible so that I don't burn out by the time I'm a certain age. You know, I just feel like I needed to get this out so that I could just try to move on. And I feel like if I speak about this and about how I feel, because people who have treated other people not so well, they don't normally say anything because they afraid of the stigma of being the crazy one or the obsessive one or the infatuated one, or they're afraid of that stigma, they're afraid of that stereotype. But human beings, by and large, are kind of sketchy anyway and problematic anyway, for the most part. We lie to ourselves, we're not kind to each other. So I really feel like when we accept what we are, like truly become aware of and accept what we are and accept our feelings and what they say about us, I really feel like we can build a path towards healing when we do that. But once again, to all the innocent people I've hurt, it's quite a few. It might not be that many, but it's quite a few. To all the innocent people that I've hurt, I am truly sorry. I can't stress that enough. It's been on my mind for years. If I've hurt you, I'm sorry.